Welcome back to my studio. So today I wanted to challenge myself to make my first jabot. So if you're not familiar, it's sort of this vintage sort of ruffled, traditionally it's like a ruffled decorative element that you tie around your collar, or it could be attached to the shirt altogether. Definitely want to incorporate these fabric ruffles and lace in the first one I make, but I thought I would go ahead and show you some of the other items I've been collecting because I want to make more than one, but in today's video I will definitely finish the one, and then I'll show you like this little crochet with the frame. I think this could be a really interesting one, and then I would add other elements to it, more of a simplistic style. And then I was thinking about doing some more colorful styles, and I've just been collecting things like, I think this yellow lace could play really well with this like crushed turquoise trim that I have, and also I have these little this little floral scallop lace trim, and I think that goes really good together. And there's the velvet. Then I was thinking this pink tulle with this green sheer ribbon, and then this jacquard floral, that could be fun together. And then I could even add other things, like I was thinking about adding some of my beads to these, or some of my larger fabric pieces could be another option. So it's almost like I have too many options, so I'm just going to go off my original inspo, which is this very sort of frilly vintage style. I'm very inspired by Magnolia Pearl, and I'm also inspired by many images I took off Pinterest, as well as like some of these beads and things, and like that little crochet collar. Some of the things I've been picking up have been inspiring this, so I just kind of titled a bin jabot, and then I've been adding to it. And I recently picked up a lot of these stones with the intention of, yes, I want to add those to jabots too. So I'm excited. I really like little mushrooms too. I think they're made out of glass, but just I want to incorporate those in a different one. And then I think pretty much everything else in this is for journaling. So let's see what I can come up with. I've never made one of these, and I'm excited, but I think it should be pretty straightforward. First off, I'm just going to go ahead and like tuck the raw edge under and stitch that down so it has this clean finish on the right side of the jabot, because I'm fine with, see, I'm not somebody that pins everything down. I'm fine with having little messy, disheveled, frayed parts, but I want to be in charge of where those parts are and where they aren't. So like for the front, I want there to be a nice clean line, and that's what I'm tucking this under and sewing it, and then I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so here is the back side, and if you can see, then here's what the front looks like. So good, much better. It was all frayed before, and I just wanted that clean. So then I added this fabric onto the back. I just cut out kind of like a triangular shape with a flat top, and then I'm sewing on the ruffles how I want them to sit for the jabot. And the hardest part is sort of getting the ruffles to lay how I want them to lay before I sew them down, because once I sew them down I can't really move them other than the bottom of them, so I'm kind of playing around with them and then stitching them down when I'm happy with the placement. Now I wanted to incorporate a little bit of lace on the ends that were plain. I just thought they were a little too plain. I wanted it to be more frilly, so I'm adding this sort of cream lace, and then I'm also adding the lace that you saw in the very beginning of the video. Now I'm just hand sewing on a lot of the finishing detail and the finishing touches. So sometimes with the sewing machine, I don't have total control over like a very small section, or it's too thick for my needle and thread to go through, because I don't have like a super industrial sewing machine. So at the end of a lot of projects, I will sit down with a needle and thread and I'll do like the finishing touches. And I figured I could also add this little, almost like charm detail, little vintage metal bow with a little flower in the center of the lace bow that I'm also sewing by hand. Okay, here's how it came out. I actually really, really like it. It's so feminine and dramatic and artsy. This has me wanting to make more jabots for sure. I don't know if they are going to be popular in any way, like if anybody would actually want one, but I really, really did enjoy making it, and I'm going to post it in my Poshmark and eBay and just see how the market responds. Then I've sort of layered it with this very frilly vintage collar. That's not part of the jabot, that's the shirt, but that's the concept, is like it could go with a vintage shirt like this, a vintage blouse, and it just brings that frilly feminine touch to the outfit. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this came out. Again, this was inspired by the brand Magnolia Pearl and also some images I found on Pinterest and Poshmark. So there we go, my first jabot. Okay, you'll have to ignore my very red blotchy face, but what do you think of that? Is that something that you could picture somebody wearing to like a formal thing, or even maybe for a costume? I don't know, just like it's very artsy. I would never get that dressed up to where I would wear it, but I really enjoyed making it, and I think I want to make more variations of these. Maybe lots of different styles were coming to mind when I was making it, but it did take almost 3 days for me to finish that one, so I figured I would put it in this video. So let me know, do you want to see more of these jabots? Am I saying that word right? And I also want to move on to making artist smocks soon, and maybe more journaling stuff. So if that sounds good to you, consider subscribing. I would love to have you, and I'll see you later.